Hey guys, welcome to a bonus episode of the Refuse to Lose podcast. Today's chat is done in conjunction with the NRL Roast, who came up with the idea of doing a This Is Your Rugby League Life segment with departing Seagulls star Joel Thompson. Now, we've had Joel on the podcast before talking about the terrific mental health work he does and the tough times in his life that have led to him becoming such a great community champion. But with this chat, we thought we'd have a bit more fun with one of the great characters in the NRL as he prepares to leave for the English Super League next year. In this chat, Joel is raw, funny and loose as he tells some of the cracking stories from his time in the NRL, plus answers a heap of questions that fans sent in. It really is a no-holds-barred conversation, the likes of which is rarely seen in professional sports these days. So I hope you enjoy our chat with Joel Thompson. Joel Thompson, welcome to a kind of a dual combination of the Refuse to Lose podcast and the NRL Roast. And we thought we'd get you on, mate, since you're finishing up in the NRL and just do a bit of a This Is Your Life in the NRL, if you will. Just chat about some of the good times and maybe some of the bad times. So welcome, mate. How you doing?
No, I'm going good. I just got back from seeing the surgeon just to follow up with him after my op. And good. Just in recovery mode at the moment, just sort of sorting it out so I can start rehab and get overseas healthy and start ripping in.
I'll talk about the ankle in a sec, but how's the tongue?
The tongue's good. I actually
it looks pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can see. This side's a little bit shorter. So when they stitched the top and the bottom, I feel like it's pulled in a little bit. And I only started to notice it the other day, and it's starting to get on my nerves. It's not painful or anything, but it's more that I can feel that it's a little bit different. So I said to my wife, I said, it's no pain at all. Like, it's not doing anything like that. It's just more, it's annoying because it's pulling down a little bit. So I can see how it's a little bit shorter. So I don't know if I have to see a plastic surgeon or see a doctor or something, maybe chuck a bit of, I don't know, skin in there or something, chuck something in there to make sure it spreads out a bit and it's not pulling. So, but other than that, it's not too bad. My teeth are back solid and, again, just healing, which is good.
What exactly happened with that one? Like, is someone whacked you?
Yeah, so you know what? I've been told I always bite my tongue. Like, I think it's a Koori thing, being just biting your tongue, going, like getting angry and getting revved up. And through my juniors used to bite my tongue. And I heard in a schoolboys once, I bit across that way. But it wasn't a big cut. It was only like a bit of a cut, and I sort of healed up after a little bit. But again, I was just running the ball, and obviously must have had my tongue out for a little bit to try and get myself pumped up or whatever it was. Like it's like trying to tell myself I'll get more strength when I bite my tongue. But so I got hit by two blokes, and Kurt Mann, it was actually champion, hit me underneath and just drilled me with a shoulder, and it just bit up and obviously just cut through and loosened a couple of my front teeth, and it was just a bit of a mess. And the thing is, like, I wanted to stay in the field, but I couldn't open my mouth because I didn't want the refs to see it and see all the blood, and I obviously have to go for a blood bin, and so I had to keep my mouth closed, and I was just dry. Like, I was just had to keep on swallowing the blood, and I was just, it was annoying, man. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's just one of those games that you sort of had to get through.
Could you feel it? Like, could you feel there's something wrong here with my tongue? Like, it feels like it's split in two.
Well, I put my tongue out to, I think it was Cade Cust, or one of the boys in the team, and I said, "Well, what's happening with my mouth? Is my tooth wobbly?" And then he just went, ugh. Like, I could see his face was shocked, and obviously my tongue split and it's in different directions. And I sort of was like, it started to swell up, and I started to hit the back of my mouth guard, and it was getting real sore. So, like, that achy sort of feeling. So I knew there was some damage there, and obviously after the game, had a look at it, and I was like, oh wow, it is split straight up the middle. So and they were going to wait till the next morning to actually go and get stitches, but I had so much blood coming out on the bus trip back to Sydney. I was just losing too much, and I lost. And it happened to me when I was at the Raiders. I broke my nose and got a split, and I slept through the night. And my wife, actually, Amy, found me the next day. I passed out from losing too much blood and had to get rushed to hospital. So I had sort of memories of that, and I was like, oh, no, I've got to get this stitched up tonight. So they end up getting me in that night to see a plastic surgeon, and he, obviously put the stitches over the top and underneath, and just started to heal up. Hey, darling? I cut an artery. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they cut the artery in me. Thanks for that. Sorry, it's my wife there. But I cut an artery in my tongue, and that's why I was bleeding so much as well. So, yeah.
Was that this time you cut the artery in the tongue? The last one was something different, yeah.
No, the one in Canberra at my wife's where I passed out was because I broke my nose. And did I split my eyebrow? Yeah, my eyebrow or something. And I lost so much blood. And I had this towel, and I was sleeping in her bed, actually. I was only my girlfriend at the time, and I just bled out so much through the night that the next morning when I went to have a shower, obviously passed out a bit.
Mate, it's amazing how you've still got your model good looks, mate, after all these these injuries.
Up, man. They used to be better, but I've playing in the forwards, not having a passing game, just getting bashed and you just you just learn to take the hits and do what you can.
Is that one of your worst? The tongue ones? Like when I remember seeing the photo and everyone was just like, Jesus Christ, that's tough.
Yeah, it was annoying for a long time. So a week I had to be on soup and ice cream. The ice cream was pretty good, but I wasn't a fan of the soup and that, but the ice cream I didn't mind that, but the soup was just, tomato soup. It was just annoying. The eating for maybe a week and a half of just soup and liquids was killing me. But
that wouldn't have gone well for you out in the field, mate, because some of the boys have told me that you chat non-stop shit out in the field, and you're just...
I'm the biggest shit talker, I reckon. In stages of my career, probably the worst in rugby league. If it's not talking shit to my teammates, it's to the opposition. And I don't know how. I've always just been a loudmouth. Even for juniors, I was a shit talker. So it's just been a part of me. I'll probably take it over the UK too. So the Super League, they'll soon get sick of me over there, some of the players. But I think it gets me into the game more too. It revs me up if it's, or whatever it is. It just keeps me in, and yelling at me props to get back and get in the line or try and get some line speed and put a hit on or something. I just always just a talker. Sometimes I'll talk it up to and not actually go through some of my own stuff, like kick chase properly, or I'll spray someone else for doing. If something goes wrong, I'll spray someone else, but it's really my fault. I'm good at that too. So, I've got to be better.
They said it with COVID and the no crowds. They said some of the boys go, I didn't actually realise how much she actually talks, but when you can't hear anyone else, you just hear Tomo just squawking the whole time.
Yeah, it's true. I think the boys were like, oh, wow, we can't get over. Especially the boys that weren't playing and sitting on the bench. And we're just listening to obviously us out there, and I'm just going non-stop, just talking absolute. Some of us just rubbish. Some of us not even footy related. It's me just talking shit. And the boys said to me after the game, like, "Wow, we're really starting to take notice of how much shit you talk." But it's all good. It gets me through them sometimes to the games.
When you say not footy related, can you think of something like that?
I don't know. Just it's more just talking. I try and keep it as footy related as I can. Talk about line speed and kick chase, all the things that I want our team to do. The 1% stuff that just reminders, or there's certain things that we speak about during the week that we want to execute or do during the game. I'll try and talk them up, or even different things that I have to do. I just try and yell that out sometimes. I don't know. It's just something I've always done. Just been a talker. I guess it keeps me. I don't know what it is, but during my career, it's probably been a part of my career too. I've been inconsistent during my career. I'll have games where I'll play, outstanding, and other games where I'll drop off and not play the quality that I probably should. And I think a big part of it sometimes, them games I'm probably a little bit too quiet. And sometimes I feel like when I'm talking, I'm more in the game and in the moments and try and, get the best out of myself.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough. I guess you kind of play yourself into it a bit with the self-talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the we'll move on from the tongue. Now you're sitting there on the couch and you've just had ankle surgery. You know, talk me through that injury and then kind of finding out that it was going to end your time in the NRL.
Yeah, so I done it against the Cowboys. I've had a rubbish year. I've had a real COVID year, to be honest, just with niggles and just the way it's played out. But, it's rugby league. It started out with my head knock, actually, and it's gone on to, I had the broken arm, from last year into the head knock, into just other, like, little niggles. And then, it sort of just summed it up. It sort of, with the ankle injury, I sort of done it against the Cowboys, went through for I love a kick chase. And when the boys put a kick on, I'll go through and try and get a try. So I went through and I got knocked off balance and landed on the ankle pad and just tore ligaments through it and done some damage. And obviously I played the Indigenous round. I got up for that because it was something that was special to me. And it was going to be my last one in the NRL. And it probably wasn't right. And then I've tried to manage it and it just kept on blowing up and just being a mess. And I've tried to needle it and tried to do everything to try and play on with it because I wanted to finish in the NRL and give my all. But it got to a point where the pain, I just wasn't able to do my job good enough for the team. Like I just felt like I had to probably go and get it looked at. And I went and seen the specialist, and he said I had to, get it off straight away. So I had to get the inside ligament, the deltoid, and the outside ligament reattached and get some bone bodies, whatever, taken out as well for it. So it was just a bit of a mess. So it's all good now. Just sort of have to just recover now and get it all right, rehab it, and get it right for next season overseas.
But yeah, it just I guess it would have sucked mentally, but not getting to finish on your own terms, and at least getting to play those last couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely filthy. Just to know that it's funny how it's worked out because my first NRL experience was actually with Melbourne Storm back in 2000, and this makes me sound old. It was actually 2006 or 2007. I played a trial game for the Melbourne Storm against Manly at that stadium. So that was 2007. I'm pretty sure it was. So I played the first grade trial game against Manly, and then played my last game. That was my first experience of NRL, and then my last game was playing against Melbourne for Manly, and that was it's sort of funny how it's worked out like that. But it's rugby league. I wanted to do a lot of things in my career. I wanted to play rep footy. That didn't happen. I wanted to win premierships. I wanted to play finals games. But that's rugby league. You just take the positives out of it, which I've absolutely loved those 13 years. And it's just the way sometimes it plays out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's a good way to look at it too. In terms of now moving forward, man, like what are you clear on what happens? Like obviously with everything going on in the world, you're signed in the Super League next year. Do you know what's happening? Movement? When do you go? All that stuff.
Yeah, so I've been in contact with those people overseas, and so we're looking at heading over in December, mid-December, late December, and then we just have to see how everything plays out, unless it changes. But that's what we're aiming for at the moment. We're just getting our visas and everything sorted now, and working out, where we're going to live, all the little stuff, and thought through that. So looking forward to it, to be totally honest. I can't wait. I just want to test myself in a different country, prove myself to new teammates, to new competition. That's what it's all about, rugby league. So, looking forward to it.
Was it a big decision for you? Like, because you got a young family to move and pack up and go there. Like, how much thought went into it, I guess?
Yeah, a fair bit. A fair bit, because I'm leaving behind people that I'm close to, especially my nan, who's, she's older now, and, certain family members and friends, and, even with my wife and her family and everyone else. So obviously it's a tough decision, but I just know for our little family, the life experience, and my wife's going to be a school teacher. She's going to look at teaching over there. My kids will be going to school over there. It's just that whole life experience of living in a different country and playing a sport still and earning a living. Like, that's what it's all about. I just want to get that out of it and do a little bit of travel if we can, depend on COVID. But just keen for it, to be honest, and just excited for that next chapter.
What are you expecting from the footy over there? Like, have you talked to guys that have played over there?
Yeah, well, it's going to be. I've been watching a fair bit of it because it's the first time I've actually got KO. So I've been watching the games back and having a look at that style over there. And I enjoy watching it. I can see myself over there and enjoying that footy. And I actually experienced it, I guess, when I was at the Dragons. We played the World Club Series. We played against Warrington at Warrington, and man, the crowd was just going mad. They'll just had these chants going. They'll just real, just vocal, and they had, I just love that atmosphere. I felt like they're right on top of us too with the ground, like with their stadiums over there. So I could see myself even back then. I was like, I wouldn't mind coming over and experiencing this, and here I am. I'm heading over there and doing that. So I'm going to give it a red hot crack. That's just the way I am. I'm just looking forward to testing myself and having a good crack at it, eh?
And just off the field, like I know you do a lot of work. You got your own charity, the Mindset Project, that we've spoken a lot about before. Your mental health work, which is really important to you. How are you going to, manage that, moving countries down and do that?
Yeah. Well, that was a big thing that was going to stop me from going over, to be honest. And I spoke to my wife about it. She goes, "That's never going to leave you. Like, there's something that you're so passionate about, and I feel like it's something that and she's true. Like, it's not going to, I'm going to stop doing what I've been doing over the last, 8 or 9 or so years. I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to look at more speaking engagements, public speaking opportunities, and try and build a little bit of a network over there and try and get on that side of things. And hopefully with the Mindset Project, we're looking at people coming on board and doing a mentoring program that I want to look at. It's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. It takes me back to the time I was helping out in the juvies and that. I wanted to put together a program and do some stuff around emotional intelligence and teach kids about being building skills to help them build some resilience in them and face the challenges that they're going to face through life. I just felt like that's a different part of the Mindset Project I'd like to build on. So I'll try and bring someone on board to deliver some of that content. So at the moment, it's sort of just seeing how that sort of plays out and see if I find the right person for that. Because I've got enough contacts and that build up over the years, which has been good. So again, it's just see how it all goes on. I'm going to continue it, and it's just going to be a little bit different.
It's just a chance again as well to kind of introduce it maybe to a new part of the world, or push through the team that you play for, like the same way you've done with other teams, is put the message out there.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what it's all about. Like, it's as much as it's helped me so much with me being a better person, but it's just all the days off with football you get sometimes, not heaps, but you get days off. Like, what else am I doing? Like, I felt like the community stuff's played a big part in me, with my football as well. It's gave my life a good balance, to be totally honest. I fell into it. I got encouraged to actually go out and do stuff in the community. I wasn't involved in any community stuff at all. I wasn't interested, if I'm being totally honest, but I got encouraged to go out and volunteer, and I fell in love with it. I thought, it's helping me be a better person, but I'm helping others. So I'll continue to do that over there. Like I said, build some new networks. Hopefully I know what the community is like. It's all new to me. It's going to be totally different. It's going to be new for them too, hearing me to come and speak to them, like this guy from a little remote town out in the bush of New South Wales. They're going, what the hell is this one? And,
won't be able to understand you.
Yeah, they won't be able to understand. Hey, slow down, brother. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be cool.
Man, I know you've done a lot here, and you're an inspiration to a lot of people here, and I know you have the exact same effect over there. So I wish you luck with all of it, and obviously always keep in contact with you. But let's get into some of the questions that some of the fans, the NRL Roast fans have sent in. They want to know from you before you take off to the Super League. And I thought I'd start with the first one. I was talking about you being an inspiration to others. What about yourself, man? Who inspired you? It doesn't have to be a player, but it could be like in your life.
I guess I had to think about this one. It wasn't really sports. I guess as a young fella, I wasn't. Obviously, you go home and watch footy on Friday night footy or whatever, but I wasn't too obsessed with watching too much sports and anything else. So I guess I had to think about. I guess I looked up to my nan a lot. Just the way she was. She was a hard worker. She never drank or smoked, even though I drank and smoked later on. But I still looked at her as inspiration. She was a very respectful woman. She worked hard her whole life, and she always was giving, helping the next door neighbor or helping someone in the community. If someone needed something, she would give before, and go without so they could have it. That's sort of, I took a lot of, a lot of my morals and who I'm about, what I'm about from my nan. So I guess she was a big inspiration for me.
Yeah, that's good, man. And a lot of people's parents and grandparents are, but for yourself, when you pass advice on to young players and stuff, what's the best piece of advice you could give to someone now starting their career in the NRL?
Yeah, just don't waste your opportunities. Like, I feel like I wasted, if I'm being totally honest, a bit of my career, just the way I was, off the field, and just so much happening in my life. I just sorted myself out and just, took the professional way. I would have been different in some ways, but it's just don't waste your opportunities. Train hard, do everything the right way. Push yourself at training, do the 1%ers, do extra training, tick every box you possibly can, and don't waste it. The years go quick in footy, and just every opportunity you can and give it a red hot crack. Reach your potential. Don't waste any years or time. Doing things at half, at 50%. Rip in.
I was going to get to a question later, but I think it's a good time to ask it now. Like regrets. You mentioned, kind of alluded to then. Like, do you have any specific regrets that kind of stick out in your mind?
Yeah, I don't want to make excuses, but I feel like I just didn't reach my full potential. I feel like I just wasted a lot of years there. Man, if people really know me, some of my mates who actually will listen to this know how much I drank and partied and bended, and just the way I was for a lot of my years in my footy. I just wasted a lot of years, and I wasn't the most professional at times, and I just didn't really give it a red hot crack. And even during my training, when I went to the Melbourne Storm, I didn't lift the weights. I didn't do any weights before I got to Melbourne Storm. They told me back when I was 16 to start doing weights and training, and doing different things. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any fitness. I went down into a Melbourne Storm preseason and got absolutely humbled. I wanted to quit so many times. I was mentally weak. I'm getting flogged by Alex Corbo, strength and conditioning. I don't know where he's at now, but that man broke me, and I was always looking for shortcuts, and making up excuses and, blaming, always finding something to blame something on. I was just, so that happened a bit in my early years, and there's so many funny stories about me training. Terry Campese actually reminded me one of another week when I put up a post. He reminded me when I first, went to the Canberra Raiders, I was dreadful. I was a bad trainer, and I remember there was a fitness drill, and it was after a festival. I'm pretty sure it was after something. I had a bender on the weekend, and we had fitness early in the week, and my back was seizing up on me, and I was yelling out for water, and I ended up taking myself off and quitting on the boys and quitting this fitness session. It was because I wasn't mentally strong enough to push through it all and do the right thing on the weekend. I'm bendering on the weekend into training, and that happened so much during my career. I'd just bender, I'd just drink and party for days and roll into train on Monday and think it was going to be all sweet, and then not train properly. I was just, I regret a lot of that. But you live and learn. So any young guys out there, don't do that. Do the right thing. Reach your potential. Don't waste your years, and give it a red hot crack, and get the good people around you. Don't be a clown like me. And just, I just couldn't stop the party. It took a head knock for me to finally, laying in the hospital bed for 2 weeks, and finally to give up the drink. I've been 11 months sober now, but I've always had these little hiccups during my career.
When you speak about not wasting your potential, you spoke about before, like the things you wanted to do in your career, play rep footy, stuff like that. Like, do you think that that would have slowed you down? That probably could have hindered you, stuff like that, maybe?
Maybe not, because there always has been quality back rowers and players in front of me as well. And I haven't been the most consistent footballer as well. There's times where I'd play really good for certain, and I've had some bad games. So that happened a fair bit as well. So, I can't just blame my off-field stuff, but maybe it did contribute. But in saying that, there was some really good players in front of me. But I still believe, at my best, and if I stuck to everything and ticked everything and done the right thing, maybe I could have had a better crack at it. But that's just the way it works out. I've got no one else to blame except the man in the mirror. It's no one else's fault but my own. So I just hope the guys out there, they're better these days. Young guys, their heads switched on. They got better support around them at clubs these days, and I was just wild. I was just so wild. I can't even explain how crazy I was, man. And some of them years, I don't know how I kept my career, to be honest, at some stages there, but I did. Thank God.
Mate, you mentioned it before. Now you've gone 11 months sober, and I remember we did a podcast at the start of the year. And you'd only done a couple of months, and you're now 11 months down the track. Like, how's it going? How's it been for that time?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. It's gotten so much easier. Obviously, the first couple of months was quite tough. Just people just opening up a cold Corona or having a glass of wine, little things like that. You miss them, but no, I've been really good. So 12 months, I said I'd give up alcohol for that 12 months. And then I'm hoping I can start back out. All it was always about was learn how to drink, responsibly and know when to stop. That's all I wanted. I just wanted the off button. And that's what my wife and my nan, when they had a big intervention sort of thing in the hospital bed, they just said, we love you. We just don't want you to put yourself in these dangerous situations where you just don't have that off switch where you go home to bed, where everyone else would just go, call it a night. I wouldn't call it a night. So I just want to learn how to drink responsibly, have a glass of red, have a couple of beers, go home. So if I can't do that, I probably will give it up forever, but hopefully I can just do it socially and be more smart.
Yeah, okay. So you past the 12 months and you just got to try and slowly ease it back.
Yeah, just have that switch where I just know, be a bit more mature and be a bit more of a man and not a boy anymore. That's what it's always been about,
we could probably talk about the stories for days. I don't know. You probably wouldn't remember. You probably wouldn't remember many of them. But another question some of the guys want to know is the best player you've shared a field with. You didn't have to be on the team with him, just on the same paddock.
Mate, Jonathan Thurston, without a doubt, the GOAT. One of the GOATs with him and Andrew Johns. Obviously, it's hard to decide. That's going to be an argument forever. But obviously, Thurston, champion bloke too. I was always so nervous being around him, because he was such I looked up to him and he was such a champion player. But honestly, one of the best blokes ever too. And him without a doubt.
You got to play with JT, didn't you?
Yeah.
So if you were to pick a player then over the years that you didn't get to play with and you wish they were a teammate of yours, who would it be?
I guess Cameron Smith. I respect him. The way he just, no matter the forwards, he just brings them into the game. You just have to run your line and he'll make it happen for you. If it's holding up the markets or bringing in defenders, he just makes it happen for his players around him and lifts a lot of players. And he'll go down as one of the greats, and he deserves that. A lot of people like to bag him, but I think there's a bit of jealousy there. We've got a tall poppy syndrome in Australia where there's people at the top, they just want to attack them and just rubbish, especially social media. It sort of gives these people a little voice. All their hate, they can put it out there and let other people see it. You know what it's like. So, but definitely Cameron Smith. Champion.
Mate, answer me this, because when I watch, is he really strong? Is he hard to tackle? It just seems like he is, and he shouldn't be.
Yeah, he is. They have that joke about him being the accountant, with his frame and everything, which is fair. But he is strong, and obviously everything about his defense and the way he plays, and it's all at a top class. It's all quality. So that's why he's been around the game for so long. He's been so good.
What about hardest hitter? And you're not allowed to say yourself.
No, I'm far from it. I don't know. I said Jeremy Smith. You remember Jeremy Smith?
Yeah,
when he was back. I remember him hitting me a couple of times pretty hard, and some of them weren't fair tackles. They were sort of swinging arms and sort of just he was just an aggressive and real rough sort of player, and I liked his style. Actually, I admire him because when I first went to Storm as a young fella, he was one of the players there, and I just looked up to him the way he played the game. But you know what? There's so many hard hitters these days. But you know what? Even watching Big Papa, Papali, the other day, who did he drill? He drilled some lad from.
I seen that he murdered someone. Yeah.
I can't think who it was, but
neither.
He hurt. I was just watching. I was like, actually, he's probably one of the hardest hitters because the size of him and the power in him, he could do some serious damage, and he done it against that poor Dragons fellow. I was like, oh, I want to get out of NRL, get me the Super League, and all sort of.
he's a shotgun Big Papa, isn't he?
Yeah, big boy.
We were talking before about sledges, and you're a chirpy bloke, but are you up there with the best? Was there anyone that kind of stood out?
Well, yeah, there has been. There's been heaps, to be honest. But Willie Mason, I guess. I just from one game, I just remember him. He was mic'd up, but he was giving it to our forward pack. He was getting stuck into our props, going, "Oh, where you got no decent props?" So he was paying out our props like in their face in the scrum. I was like, "Holy," it's just sort of that. And but Will Chambers was pretty. He was non-stop too. He used to get under my skin badly. Like I'd have to tell myself in the game to sort of just ignore it because it was just I wanted to do something real dirty, like fly out an elbow or do something that was just going to get me sent off or suspended for a long time. And I was actually in my head just reminding myself because it's a bit deep here, but I used to be like a bit angry in that as a young fella, and I had to work on controlling my anger, and I sort of had to work on that anyway. So it was like I had to use them skills in footy too because I just wanted to go out and do something silly, but I had to. And he used to do that to me all the time, just yapping, like just yeah.
I get the Will Chambers thing. Like journos will tell you the same thing, that Will Chambers is the most difficult bloke to interview. Like he's just smart ass. He doesn't give a fuck. Like he'll just.
I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't care. Yeah. So I think he'd be there.
So he'd be up there with the best of them.
Yeah, he'd be probably up there the best. Yeah, I reckon.
What about favorite match, man? Like, is there a game that stands out for you, a highlight in particular? It's again, it'd be the Indigenous games because I don't know, it's a different. Unless you're Indigenous, I think people don't realise what it actually really means to players, and not just to me, but to my wider, to my family and to the community I'm from, and representing that area of where I'm from, and so it means a lot to me, and it's a real special game. And even the last game where I got the captain, but we lost, which sucks because I was captain. But it was still a very special moment, and it's sort of goosebumps, sort of a feel to it. You get this this fire in you where you could. I'm not saying you'd want to die out there, but you'd be happy to do whatever you can for that jersey and for who you're representing. So them matches are always something that's pretty special. What about when you got told that you were captain, and like what was that feeling like?
Yeah, surreal. I was just in shock when Laurie said it to me because there was some great leaders in the team with Wade Graham and Latrell. There was some players there that if they were captain, I'd be happy to follow them. So when Laurie told me, I was just blown away, and obviously very honoured, and just something I'll never forget.
It was a great week too this year as well, especially what the boys did with that for that young fella Quaden and stuff like leading him out. Like that was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know what the thing is, with the group of boys, I know it's all through different players, no matter what your background is and where you're from and how you were brought up. But it's different with the Koori lads because when you got a brother that's down and out or is struggling, if he's bullied or if something's happening to him, you always put your hand down and you help him up no matter what. That's just what we've been taught. You always help out a brother, you always help out a cousin or whoever it is. And that was the situation that, we heard about his story, and straight away on the WhatsApp group, all the boys like, oh, what can we do? Can we do this? Can we do that? Let's get him to train. Let's do this. It was just everyone just wanted to be a part of that, and it was a special thing. And it sort of just shows the characters and the type of players you got in that type of squad, and through rugby league. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some special Indigi players as well. Like,
Yeah.
do you have a favourite Indigenous player? Actually, not Jonathan Thurston, but like in that team that you played in this year, like, is there a guy that you even sit back and go, he's the man?
Yeah, well, Latrell obviously is a special talent. He's a freak. All the boys, like all the boys, I could say most of them, but he actually didn't play. But Cody Walker's probably one of my favourites. I like watching him play, and he's actually annoying sometimes to play against him because he gets real angry and grabs and pushes, and I know he'd annoy a lot of players, but I don't mind. I like the way he plays, and always enjoy watching him. I actually watch more South games and watch more footy when he's playing because he's a freaky talent. He's a guy that's worked hard for it. I like hearing about his journey too, and he's actually a guy that's really passionate too about helping others in his community or throughout any sort of. If someone needs a hand, he's the first person to go and do that. So, I've always respected him, and I think he's someone that I wish I played more footy with. But yeah, I'll enjoy watching him and continue to watch him play over the next few years.
Yeah, well, he's pretty underrated, and that was going to be my next question. Like, is he your most favourite underrated player, or like who's the most underrated player you think you've seen in your time in the NRL?
Yeah, I honestly believe Cody Walker. I believe he's the most underrated player. I feel like he doesn't get the recognition that he got given that blue shot, but he didn't get enough time. He should have been given more opportunities, and the way it's played out, it's hard to say. It's because he's a special talent, but you know what? I still believe, now people are starting to realise, but Jack Whiten, he's another player that was underrated and people were just like, not seeing his true talent, but I'm glad to see that people are starting to talk and actually know now that, this he's a freak. And it's good to see these underrated players actually get recognised and get the respect they deserve because, it's just the way footy is sometimes. Some of these players, you get stuck in teams or you get stuck in years where you just, you're playing your heart out and you're playing good, but people are not really taking those because they're not winning or they're not doing this, but they're still good talent,
Yeah, I think Jack Whiten, he's still underrated, and he's won a Clive Churchill and he's making rep teams now, but like just a guy who's so big, strong, but fast as well, agile.
He's a nightmare to tackle. Yeah.
I can imagine he would be, yeah. Well, speaking of, he was one of your former teammates, and you've had a lot of teammates over the years through a number of different clubs. Any of them or yourself have any weird superstitions, pre-game, post-game, stuff they had to do?
You know what? But
so
me,
go on.
I had one. It's actually. I don't know if I could even talk about this. I will. I don't really care. So it was more about not having sex before a game. I remember having sex before a game once, and I went and played at Shark Park, and I played disgraceful. I went out there and I was the big teddy bear. I wanted to cuddle. I wanted to not run hard. I was just a big pussy. I took it away from. I felt like I said it to myself in my head. I was like, that's from having sex the night before. And so from then on, refused it. No matter if my missus is looking mad or she's, we're feeling a bit, I'm just like, nah, I'll shut out from it and just switch off and not try and get too involved and just, so I'm stuck by that over the last, for a long time now, for most of my career. But that's probably one thing I'll probably stick to.
I feel like that's pretty common amongst footballers. I feel like a lot of them would think that, like, you're gone, you waste all your energy and you just zapped.
Oh, mate, I just remember this game. I was disgraceful and I just couldn't think of anything else. And I put it back on that. I was being too lovey-dovey in that, and it just played on for the next day. I was lovey-dovey all the next day, but, I'm out there playing a game of football. I can't be like that, I've got to be angry and want to kill people. Not kill people, but hurt people,
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that 100%. I'm sure your missus will be happy for you. You shared that one. Speaking of disgraceful moments in games, do you have a most embarrassing moment or something you look back and just cringe at?
I can't think. I don't know. There's been a couple of like missed tackles and they've gone through. I call them embarrassing because I hate letting through, like turning out and someone running through my inside shoulder. That's something that I find embarrassing. But There was one there once when I was a young fella, and I tried to, I think it was Corey Norman. It was someone that kept on stepping me, and I was getting real angry, and I tried to do a swinging arm, and I missed him and hit Sean Berrigan. This was when I was at the Raiders, and I clipped him on the side of the head, and he blew up because I wasn't even looking where I was going. I sort of pulled the jersey over, and I went to swing the arm like that to jam him, and he sort of moved. It was the worst attempt ever. And went over him and hit my teammate, and sort of he was blowing up. What are you doing? That was a bit embarrassing, I guess.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just, it's what you said before, that anger stuff. You just gets a hold of you, and you're trying to settle yourself down. And you just get the red eyes.
Yeah, get the anger in me. It was something I've had to work on, even since a young fella. I was a rat bag through school and that. Something I sort of went on through for footy, and you can't be angry out in the footy field. Like, you can in some ways, but it's got to be controlled. You go out there and do the wrong thing, you get 10 or sent off, you're going to hurt your teammates. So you got to control that stuff.
Well, just on the opposite end now, like your most proud moment. It doesn't have to be on the field, but just if you look at your whole NRL career, what are you most proud of what you've achieved?
Again, I guess the community stuff, the stuff that I've been given a platform. I was never going to get this platform in anything else. I've been lucky rugby league's given me that, and I sort of, the people that I've met, like the good people I've met, that's really stuck by me and helped me be a better person. But also been able to have the opportunity to go out and help so many others. It's been a big part of my life, and it's turned me from, if I'm being totally honest with you, from being a bit of a grub and not really caring about anyone else except myself, to actually changing that and trying to be a role model for my children and for others, and be a better person. I'm never going to, still got a bit to go to be perfect, but, I've sort of think the platform that rugby league's given me to help others, I guess that's probably something I'm very proud of. And
I'm not retiring you just yet, man, but like once you've finished up in the Super League and all that, that's the stuff you want to continue to keep doing and even take it further when you've got more time for it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to continue doing that. I don't know if it's going to be part-time or what it's going to look like, because I've got a few other things in place that I might be doing. But, I'll continue doing some type of stuff in the community. I always advocate about mental health and encouraging people, especially, males, to put your hand up and go on to get help, and being there to support each other. Other males, people in the community that will be there to help each other. And I've been a big advocate for that over the years, and something I'll never walk away from, because, I've lost family members. Only recently lost another cousin, and it's something that means something to me. It's something that I feel like I don't want to leave this earth and knowing that I didn't play my part to help others and do something to make other people's lives easier. I feel like that's going to be a big part of mine. I'll encourage my children too to be, they can look up and see me doing this, then they can do that as well. Help, not to go in their own direction, but also help others and have that empathy towards other people. I feel like it's so important.
Yeah, mate, absolutely well said. And I know we spoke about this at length on our last podcast about all the great stuff you've done. I know you speak to a lot of people about it, and you should be commended for it. I do have one random question for you, because someone commented on the post that the NRL roast put up, and someone said, have you faked an injury to go to the races? Is that a mate? Is there a story there?
I'm not going to go too much into it, but this is, again, when I was in my I won't say the year or when it happened, but I guess back in my junior days and when I was younger, I was just so wild. Football was there, but it wasn't. I didn't know if I was. I was just all over the shop, and I remember having tight hemis or something, and there was a big race day on, and I just played up the tight hemi, and I was just like, oh nah, I don't know if I'm right, because I knew in the back of my mind that this race day was on and I was going to go on this bender. So that's what I ended up doing. I went on this bender, didn't play that weekend because I had tight hemi. And after that weekend, after I had a big crack on the drink and got all out of my system and everything, I was back to work on the next week and ripping in and making sure I was right to play for the following week. And all the boys were starting to rip into me going, mate, are you sure you had a hemi issue? Like, even the trainer, they said, you're training pretty good now. Like, you're like sprinting. I said, no, it's recovered now. So that's where that story's come from. And, that's where I was at. And that's sort of when I spoke about not, wasting opportunities. You wouldn't see a young guy do that now. That was just me, very wild and very loose. And, that's sort of where I was at. So, yeah.
Mate, and there's no such thing as a 1 week hammy. Everyone knows that.
No, I know that. Yeah, but that was just me wanting to go on this race day, and I had a couple of feelers and different things. I just wanted to go on and have this bender, and I ended up making out that the hemi was worse than it was, and it wasn't. So yeah, it wasn't good. I look back on that and just go, I shake my head and go. But thanks to me, mate, whoever's put that in. Thanks for reminding me for that and asking that question.
As a stitch up. I think that's a good place to leave it, brother. And I think, as you said, you've come a long way from that young fella, and you've had a hell of a career in the NRL. And man, we're sad to see you go. I know you've got a lot of fans. You're a bit of a cold hero, but wonderful career, man. And obviously, we'll see you back in Australia at some point. But I think everyone wishes you luck on your next journey over in the Super League.
No, thanks for having me. I've enjoyed the chat. It actually took me back to a lot of those years back then. Made me realise, it's been unbelievable, from the start to where I am now. And, the way it's finished is disappointing, but I've loved every minute of it. Rugby league's very special. It brings everyone in, and it's given me a great opportunity, and it's given me the chance now to do the stuff that I love doing. And, I loved it, and I loved my time. I loved the support of the fans and the people I've met over those years. So thanks for having me, and, all the best.
Thanks, Tomo.
Thanks for listening, guys. We've got plenty more episodes coming your way very soon. Don't forget to follow the Refuse to Lose podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We look forward to talking to you again soon.